So if you decide not to participate, then what's going to happen to the patients in that rural community? I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, are they going to, for their access?
There is a small chain, a regional chain, that has a location in West Point. So I would suspect that it will be channeled, that business will be channeled to that business, or Wilford Brimley will come in and pick up the pieces and sell test strips to all the guys that couldn't get them locally.
And you service how many communities?
We just have a store in West Point, but our service area encompasses probably, depending on which direction you go from West Point, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles out from West Point.
So there's going to be a lot of people impacted based upon, and they're not going to have much of a choice.
There'll be no choice, basically. It'll just happen. And we hate to do that. It's happened to us in other areas of DME. We try to help the patients. As long as we're there, we're going to help them. Like in my testimony, I brought into the part about they need help with dealing with the equipment that they can't get taken care of by mail order or some other supplier.
Absolutely.
As long as we're there, we do that. We don't charge for it. Doesn't matter where you got those strips from. Doesn't matter. If you got a problem, we're going to help you out with it. And
Absolutely.
We'll continue to do that as long as we're there.
Very good. Dr. Harrelson, according to your testimony, physicians' practice will be charged as much as $3,000 per location to be accredited by CMS. What do you believe is going to be the long-term effects of from the pharmacist services and Medicare benefits to the Medicare beneficiaries?
Well, first of all, the regulations are that you have to have a DME-post number, unique DME-post number for each address. And so in our situation, for instance, we had 9 offices, so we had to have 9 separate DME-post numbers, which means we're going to have 9 separate accreditations, and it's $3,000 a piece. And so, though we had technically a large 37 physician practice, we operated in 4 what we call care centers. And my little care center in Maryville, Tennessee was only 4 physicians. And so that group of physicians probably are not going to be able to afford to provide DME from their offices.
And once again, who, the patient care, I mean, who do they fall to?
Well, they go to whoever supplies them. Some of the drugstores have some of the small items. They don't have the bigger items. The most common scenario is the boot walker. The boot walker has revolutionized the way we treat ankle and foot injuries. Used to, you have to have a cast. I'm not sure which one you had, but
I had the boot walker.
Yeah, okay.
Rural Industries. Yes, 6 months on that.
The neat thing about the boot walker is you can take it off. If you have an ankle fracture that you've operated on, you like to inspect the wound. You can inspect the wound one of 2 ways. You can take the cast off, which means you have to put another one on, or you can cut a window in the cast, which means that's the only place that swelling can occur, and that's detrimental to the wound. The nice thing about the boot walker is that you can take it off. The patient can exercise non-ambulatory and can care for the wound and wash the extremity. Those high-end things like that are usually not available in the common drugstore.
And washing being a very important role.
That keeps it from smelling, yes. A real problem. If you really want to see something, you go in, swim in the ocean in one of these waterproof casts. I would suggest you not try that. But anyway, those high-end DME products are not available in the drugstores, and they need to be adjusted, which is not available in the routine drugstore. And so I think in those situations, in my little town, they'll have to go to Knoxville.
So they'll have to travel.
Yes, sir.
How will the quality of care be impacted if you are prohibited providing the off-the-shelf orthotics?
You know, Mr. Shuler, that is an extremely important question. As you are probably aware, CMS, as well as all the medical societies, are really getting involved in evidence-based quality medicine. And our fuss with some of the payers is that you cannot look at costs without looking at quality. I can reduce the cost by providing sorry medicine. Most of the DME suppliers that manufacturers have at least two and three, and usually three levels of quality. They have a cheap one, which is usually made out of the country because they have a competitive bidding program with the hospitals, and the hospitals take the cheapest. They're not worried about quality. So I think that if we implement this as it's suggested, that quality really is going to take a hit. And we just insist that if you're going to measure cost, you have to include a measure of quality along with that.
So if you're taking one of the lesser products, then basically the long-term care could be compounded over the time of the patient's life.
Absolutely. And the second thing about the poor quality is they wear out, and so frequently you have to replace them. If you were in a boot walker for 6 months and you had low quality, you're going to have 3 or 4 of those things.
Oh, yeah. Had good quality and had several.
Great.
During that time period. Yes, sir. To Mr. Hyatt, kind of give me an overview of, they talked about during the competitive bidding process that in Charlotte, for instance, someone in Texas won a bid in Charlotte that was not skilled or had any expertise in providing care in that particular field. So let's say that they were in the electric mobile devices and they wanted to go to oxygen, providing oxygen to our seniors in our community. I mean, what all are they going to have to go through, and what concerns do you have in your business?
Well, they're going to have to go through a lot. That is when I saw the list of winning bidders, I was shocked to see that there was providers there that had won bids in categories that they had never provided before. Now, we talk about accreditation. Accreditation, at least to my knowledge, even though we're an accredited company, it doesn't necessarily address the products that you're providing. It addresses your general infrastructure and what, that you have the right policies, procedures in place. So how CMS is going to look at quality when it's never even, when there's no track record is absolutely beyond me. I don't understand how it can happen.
So in fact, maybe a company in Dallas could, or any parts of the United States could win a contract in Asheville, and next thing you know, you've lost your entire company that you and your brother have built from scratch based on looking to lack thereof quality from your grandmother. So they could, in a sense, basically take out your entire company based upon one bid process.
Well, yeah, they certainly could. And I think a company like this might be based. I want to be as accurate as possible. A company might be based somewhere in Texas or California, and they might have a distribution center, a quickly open distribution center in a place like Asheville. But with no track record in supplying a particular bid group, it would take me hours to describe how difficult that would be. I'm just shocked that somebody had the courage to bid on something that they've never done, because you have to build. It takes time to build infrastructure, and the infrastructure it takes to support a large group of oxygen patients is huge. There is a lot of details involved in it.